This next case is the Sonya Massey case, a case that bothers my soul so much, so let's get into it. Early on, the morning of July 6, 2024, Sonya Massey called 911 as she believed that someone had broken into her home. Two deputies, Grayson and the second unidentified deputy, responded and subsequently searched Massey's backyard and the immediate vicinity of her property. Finding no evidence of any suspicious activity or persons, the officers approached Massey's front door, and Grayson knocked multiple times to no avail. After approximately 3 minutes, Massey opened the door and engaged in conversation with the deputies. The deputies informed Massey that they hadn't found anything of note in their search, while Massey used her cell phone. As the deputies prepared to end the exchange, the unidentified officer walked around the side of Massey's house to report the license plate number of a vehicle in her driveway that Massey informed deputies was not hers. Massey and Grayson continued to engage in conversation. After the unidentified officer walked back to Massey's front door, the three enter Massey's residence. Inside the home, Grayson repeatedly asked Massey to provide her driver's license and discussed the vehicle parked in her driveway. As the unidentified deputy looked around the residence, Massey can be seen looking through a small stack of papers and her purse. At one point, Massey asked Grayson to hand her a Bible. After around a minute and a half of searching, the deputies mentioned a pot of water boiling on Massey's stove and requested that she check on it, as they don't need a fire while we're here. After Massey picked up the pot of water and walked from her stove to her sink, the unidentified deputy and Grayson moved backwards. Massey asked the officers what they're doing, as in, why are they backing up? Grayson replied that he's distancing himself from the pot of boiling water. Massey repeated her question and said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." After Massey repeated her statement at Grayson's prompting, Grayson drew his gun and replied, "You I swear to God, shoot you right in." The unidentified deputy also drew his gun. Massey immediately apologized by saying, "Okay, I'm sorry," and dropped to the floor behind the kitchen counter. However, both deputies advanced from the living room towards the kitchen with their weapons trained on Massey. After several seconds of shouting orders for Massey to drop the pot of water, Grayson fired 3 shots at her, fatally wounding her. CBS News reported that footage of the shooting showed that Massey may be holding the pot of water above her head right before the shots are fired. The unidentified deputy radioed that shots had been fired and that there was a woman with a headshot wound. He began to leave to grab his medical kit. However, Grayson told him not to, saying that she's done. Massey was later pronounced dead at St. John's Hospital in Springfield. Body camera footage of the shooting was released to the public on July 22nd. In the aftermath of the shooting, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office opened an investigation of the incident, which was turned over to the Illinois State Police. The investigation was completed within 10 days. Within 2 weeks of the shooting, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office fired Grayson. The second unidentified officer was placed on administrative leave. On July 17, 2024, a grand jury indicted Grayson on 5 counts, including 3 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated battery with a firearm, and 1 count of official misconduct. Grayson is being held in jail without bail. State Attorney John Milheiser's review did not support a finding that Grayson was justified in his use of deadly force, and prosecutors compared him to an officer intentionally and unnecessarily putting himself in front of a moving vehicle and then justifying use of force because of fear of being struck. Massey's family retained Ben Crump, a prominent civil rights attorney who has represented several other victims of high-profile instances of police brutality, including George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. The Justice Department is also investigating the case. According to Massey's family, one of her ancestors, William Donegan, was lynched in the Springfield race riot of 1908 and pronounced dead in the same hospital as Massey. The 1908 riot led to the founding of the NAACP. Massey's relative stated, "The more things change, the more they stay the same." Massey's father criticized the sheriff's office for hiring Grayson despite the serious blemishes on his record. Additionally, Her family said that police had initially blamed Massey's death on both suicide and a neighbor. Sheriff Jack Campbell announced he will retire on August 31st due to the controversial shooting of Sonya Massey. President Joe Biden stated, "Americans should be able to call for help without fearing for our lives, and that Massey should be alive today." Vice President Kamala Harris said, "I join President Biden in commending the swift action of the state's attorney's office and in calling on Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, a bill that I co-authored in the Senate." She also stated that Massey deserved to be safe and that she was tragically killed in her own home at the hands of a responding officer sworn to protect and serve. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker condemned the killing, stating that he was enraged that another innocent black woman had her life taken from her at the hands of a police officer, and that he was grateful to the Springfield State's Attorney's Office for bringing the appropriate charges in this case. He later called for Sheriff Jack Campbell to resign. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin stated that his thoughts are with the family and loved ones of Sonya Massey. And the Illinois State Police conducted a thorough investigation of Sonya's tragic death, and the Sangamon County State's Attorney brought the necessary charges in a timely way. The city of Springfield announced an increased police presence in response to the killing and subsequent protests by Massey's family and supporters. I want to explain that in the body cam, Sonya was not coming at the officers with the boiling water. She dropped it and got down on her knees with her hands up saying, "I'm sorry." The shooting was unjustified and unnecessary. Grayson didn't even have his body cam on during the incident. The unidentified officer did. And thanks to him, that's how the truth came out, because without it, they were going to cover it up for sure. Sonya didn't deserve that at all. As a black woman myself, I now don't trust law enforcement to serve and protect me, and I feel like I have to protect myself from law enforcement. And that's how I truly feel at this moment. And to Sonya's loved ones, you have my deepest condolences. Sonya should still be with us today. And this is the end of today's case. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.